Alright, hello everybody again. This is video 2 for Pencil tutorials. Pencil is a 2D animation program that I haven't used very much. I've used a little bit. I know enough about it to maybe help out because it has a little bit of a learning curve and there's not much material online for it. If you didn't watch my first video, we went over the tools, we went over the colors, we went over these options right here. This video, I'm going to go over the keyframes. I'm going to go over the display, the camera options, and then maybe if there's time, I'll go over the layers because all of that stuff kind of works together. Okay, so let's do display here. Which okay, let me give you something to okay, and I know that's purple, and I'm sorry, but yeah. Okay, so horizontal flip, see what it does. All it does is flip the page, which can be cool. If you can imagine, like, maybe you're doing it in the middle of an animation, you want to do like a weird, like, back and forth type, I don't know. You can flip the page. It's a cool effect. Yeah. And what else here? Invisible lines. Okay, I don't know what that is, but you can play with that, and maybe you'll find out. Show outlines only. And perhaps it's because of okay, but yeah. Whenever you get two outlines, and I haven't used outlines in here, I'm not even entirely sure how. Oh, and these are your palettes. You can detach them all and move them around. Whenever I was using this in Ubuntu, and I haven't used this since Ubuntu, and I think might be a different version, maybe a more up-to-date version. Because of the shape or the dimensions of my screen, it was a little weird because I'm using a TV to use my desktop. I would have to put this up here and detach the colors and minimize it a little bit to be able to see the screen right here. And I'll show you why real quick. Okay, so let's just go over layers real quick, and the reason why is because I wanted to show you the camera layer. Okay, so you get a new camera layer, and you can actually double click on this and choose your dimensions. I'm going to leave them the way they are, but I believe 800 and 400, so let's go do that actually. Change to 800 and 400 because those are the best dimensions that you should to be used on YouTube. So yeah, so I mean, if you're going to put your videos on YouTube, why wouldn't you use the correct dimensions? Otherwise, you'll get black space on both sides of the screen. You really don't want that. Okay, but as you can see, everything that's in this box is going to be shown in your animation. So if I were to compile this, and I will show you guys how to compile your animation because it's keyframes, but whenever you export it, it exports it into either an SWF file, which is Flash, so you can compile it in a Flash Maker, or you can compile it in, I'll show you, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but you go to export, and XSheet, image sequence, a movie, Flash, or, okay, and I believe this is for exporting your palettes. I think what we'll probably use, and I'll look at the movie. I haven't used this one yet, but I bet we'll figure it out together pretty quickly, whether or not it's even possible given what any of the programs I have to use that. Image sequences I have used, and I don't have a Flash compiler, so I haven't used that one either. I have exported it as a Flash file, and it does work, but I wasn't able to compile it. But I did compile images, and in the video I showed you, I showed you a video within my video of an animation. It was about 13 seconds long that I did in the first tutorial video for Pencil. So if you didn't watch that one, you might want to go back and watch it. Just kind of see an example of close to what you can do in Pencil. And that animation was done in image sequences, which is why it's choppy, because I compiled it in an OpenShot video editor, and I chose the wrong frame rate. But I was okay with that at the time because it was just an example video, because I had a team I was working with. And again, if you are an experienced 2D animator and you think you can take on a 13-episode web series, get a hold of me via YouTube, and we'll chit-chat a little bit. It will be a paid project. However, it's going to be a profit share. So yeah, going back to the tutorial. We just went over we didn't go over the layers really. I mean, I just showed you the layers. Now you can vector graphic layers or vector layers. Inkscape is a vector program, and because of that, let's see if we can't import a vector graphic file real quick. And import is actually right there. See, import image. Okay, so I need to actually find. Let's go to desktop. And there we go. This is an SVG document. Okay, and this is not a vector image that pencil can read. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to show you anything about the vector layer. Just because, like, I do have vector files on my computer. However, that one was not able to load into it. So maybe I'll do my homework on that and come back to it a little bit later. Okay, so because of that, I guess I'll show you how to add and delete layers. We added the camera layer by hitting the plus button. As you can see, it gives you an options. But I've got the vector layer selected, so I can hit the minus button and hit OK, and there you go. No more vector layer. And whatever's on top is going to be on top after it's compiled. So your camera layer you want on top, and again, that's going to show the dimensions of the screen. Anything in the black part isn't there, and you might be asking why then can it hang outside the black part? For one, it's on a different layer. You can edit within your camera layer, but you probably shouldn't. And it's where it's actually that it has done that. That's strange. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that page. Okay. And that is a display option, so it will remain clicked just like that one will if you don't unclick it. Alright, so let's do keyframes real quick. And I showed you the camera layer, and there's other layers. There's the vector layer, which again, I apologize about that. I'm gonna have to look at that and see exactly what you can do with that layer. And then there's new bitmap layer, and that is basically your bitmap or raster image, such as this paint right there. If you zoom in on this, you'll be able to see the pixels surrounding it, unlike a vector image where the math it uses math to create the image, and the math when you transform the image, the math changes to make smooth lines no matter how close or far you are from the image. That's the difference between raster and vector images. And I'm changing this away from purple. I'm sorry. Maybe let's go green. I like green. Okay, so we're going to do keyframes. As you can see, the layers and the keyframes both have these buttons next to them. So obviously, if the plus button adds a layer and takes away layers, this is going to do the same thing. So and you can okay, so this is going to be our keyframe 1. This is going to be the first frame that we're gonna do. And I'm gonna just go ahead and make a circle using this paint thing. And there you go. Because I really just want to show you how to do animation. I'm not giving you a tutorial on art itself. I'm giving you a tutorial on the program. Every tutorial I have requires a bit of knowledge in arts. Well, I don't want to say that. Okay, every tutorial I'm putting up requires a bit of knowledge in what I'm showing you as far as like 2D animation. You'll probably want to know how to draw, and again, you don't have to because not everybody wants to be a professional 2D animator. Maybe you're just bored and you want to make a quick couple-minute video. And that's okay. And again, or maybe I didn't say this. There is a sound layer that you can add MP3 audio, and I plan on showing you sound effects. I might show you in the pencil tutorial. I'll show you real quick how to get some sound effects, but not in this tutorial. Right now, I'm just showing you keyframes. Okay, so our first keyframe is going to be exactly where the animation begins. And so I'm going to begin this in the center. And this isn't anything in particular. You can pretend it's a ball, but I'm not going to do any transformation to it. So I'm just going to show you how to make a quick animation. And in the next tutorial, I might do another one that's maybe a little different, maybe a stick figure moving. But I'm not using my graphic pad right now. And even if I was, I don't have a whole lot of control over the pencil and the paintbrush. And I apologize about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to show you one way to move your objects around. Add a keyframe, and we are in the bitmap layer. Whatever layer is selected is going to add the frame to it. And I might as well show you this too also. Okay, well, time out. Show next frame. And I believe this is actually a new option because the version that I have on Ubuntu didn't have the show next frame option. It only had the show previous frame option in the onion skins. And as an example, see that? You see how it's faded out? Well, if I go back to frame 1, there it is. If I go to frame 2, okay, there it is also, but it's covered over. Because it's just an onion skin, it's showing you its last position. Okay, so I'll make another little circle right there, and then we'll add another keyframe, and I'll add another circle, and then add another keyframe, add another circle, add another keyframe. Let's go back up this time, and another keyframe. I'm trying to add enough that you will see something that you'll see where I'm going with. Okay, so that's probably good. So we have a good amount of keyframes here. I believe maybe well that's like 12 seconds, and this is your seconds. So before, and I'm gonna hit play real quick, and then I'll show you the FPS, which is frames per second, and that is editable, as well as you can turn your sound off or on, and you can loop it. You can loop the animation to keep it playing over and over and over again, which is cool because that gives you you can sit back and look at it for a minute and see what you've done right and wrong. And yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go back to keyframe 1, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn loop on because it's only going to be about 12 seconds of animation. Not even that actually. It's going to be 12 frames. Okay, well let's find out real quick. So let's hit play. Okay, now you see what it's doing there. Every frame. And it will show your onion skins if you don't turn that off. See, and so I just made a little squiggly video of some kind of like squiggly ball type thing, where he's bouncing around the screen, and with it on loop, it does kind of look like it's bouncing from there to here to there, and then like unraveling or whatever. So yeah, and you can imagine stick figures. Just like you can make a stick figure walk across the screen if you wanted to, just doing that using your onion skins and positioning and everything. And so it's really basic, really simple 2D animation software. And let me see what time I'm at real quick here. Again, I've been trying to keep really good track of that. Okay, so we are over 10 minutes again. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And yeah, so in the next video, I might show you another animation or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But in the next one, yeah, I will show you another animation, and we will export it because I won't have to go over nearly as much. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. Where's my mouse at? There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I will see you over there, and we will export.